Why don't we just start by having you bring us up to speed on what you've been seeing and reporting on since you arrived in Doha. Last flight to get there today, right?
Yeah, Connell, it's been really a wild couple of hours. The Al-Udeid base is about 20 miles directly behind me. It's the biggest U.S. military base in the Middle East, about 10,000 U.S. troops there. We landed in Doha. They immediately closed the airspace after we landed, Connell, and we were driving into town, and we started to hear pops, like pops up in the sky. Pulled over, and there's actually some video that I shot with my cell phone, I think you have, where we saw the missiles flying right over the skyline in Doha. There were a couple that were flying towards the military base, but most of what I saw were just these lights in the sky coming from the military base and flying toward Iran, right over the skyscrapers in Doha, clearly the anti-missile defense systems that were deployed. This went on for maybe 15 minutes or so. Everyone was sort of coming out, yeah, there's the video right there, and just sort of looking up in the sky in disbelief. I think people in Doha sort of felt removed from this conflict, even though it's so close to Iran and to Israel, and even with the big base right here. You know, Doha is sort of like a party city. People come here from all over the world. I think they felt like they were insulated, and all of a sudden you see the video, there were these rockets flying right over the city.
Yeah, it's a truly international city, and it's remarkable to see those pictures above Doha. Let me go to our tablet here just for a moment before we get to Joe at the White House and give you a sense, just map-wise, Qatar, just in relative terms, is such a small country. You see it there on this particular map. We're just comparing it to Iran right in here. And then we get to the point, they're going after our troops. Where are our troops? Well, within range here, certainly, again, to go back to what we're talking about in this particular instance, is right in this area in Qatar. But if we take this to the other side and slide it over, what does Iran have at its disposal? A number of different options in terms of missiles. You see the range there, 800, 900, 1,200 miles in terms of what they can use. And the last point, Brian, I'd make here, just for context, we can talk more about this later in the show. So I know you were probably heading over there anyway to do some reporting on oil, right? The Strait of Hormuz and all the oil that comes through here, especially going to places like China, is so important. Now we wonder what's next, because I got to tell you, the take here in the United States, I don't know if what you're hearing over there, is that we may have avoided the worst today, right? It's a lot of the markets are calm, stocks are up, oil's down, and people say, well, maybe this is it, maybe it's over. And if so, that would be certainly a big win, I think, for the Trump administration and what have you. But there's this open question: is there more to come from the United States or from Iran, especially with that Strait of Hormuz, which I would assume you're watching closely, right?
Of course, and just sort of a sigh of relief here also, Connell, when you think about the fact that there are 10,000 Americans. I mean, think about that for a second. The troops and their families living on this massive base right behind me, and they had missiles shot right at them. And when I was looking up in the sky, that's what I was thinking about, just all of our men and women, and oh my gosh, what if these things start landing? And there were two that I saw that made it over to the base and sort of disappeared over the horizon. And I was just sort of waiting, oh my gosh, are we going to see some kind of explosion? I never saw an explosion. The latest here from the Qatari government is that they were able to intercept all of the rockets from Iran with their missile defense systems, along with the U.S. systems. There were no casualties, no deaths, no injuries, no serious damage, which when you think about just all the American lives right in this area, Connell, we just have to be so thankful.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.